What's up, guys? This is Matt with You Rented Auto. I know I've been a little slacky with the YouTube videos, but we're back in it. I've got a bunch of YouTube videos that are coming out. You guys are going to be super excited about it. Just real quick before I get into what we're doing today, we're going to be doing also some videos on MPI units. We'll get to why I'm doing that in a second, but here's MPI by GPS, German Performance Solutions. It's his whole entire kit, comes with a controller, all the injectors, the rails, everything that you need to be able to do that. So we're going to do a video on that as well. Also, I'm going to be customizing, what we got in here? A brushless, this is a brushed fuel pump, and I'm gonna combine it with, personally, my car is a brushless system, but you S4 guys have a brush one. So I'm gonna be modifying a little bit, running AN lines, 8 AN lines all the way down. It's gonna be a whole custom piece for fueling to support 1,000 horsepower. And you guys will find out why that is very, very soon. But for now, we're going to be doing Braum racing seats. That's what you're here for today. All right, so we're going to do a full install on these things. I'm going to check to see how much weight I'm taking off, because this thing is heavy. So anything that I can do to try to lighten this thing up is what I'm going to do. So this will work for S4s, A6s. I'm not quite sure about the Qs, but we'll, I'll let you Q guys handle that. Actually, I have a Q5, a 2012, so maybe I'll try to see if the bracket's the same as well. So that way you guys can have an answer. I'll put it down in the comments below. All right, so let's just jump right into this install. All right, guys, so we're gonna start with the passenger side. I kind of already started it, so I'm gonna show you guys how to pull the seat out, so that way you guys can do this yourself. All right, so we're gonna go right here. First, I wanna focus in on this piece right here. All right, so this has on all 4 corners, there's one over there, here, and then the 2 that are in the back. All you're gonna do is push this direction, and you're gonna pry this piece that direction. Okay, so you're gonna have to hold that and then use a screwdriver, and it should slide right out. Okay, so you're gonna do that on all 4. I've already done it. And then you're gonna pop these M10s all the way on all 4 corners of the bracket, of the seat bracket. All right, so what I like doing is, I like doing the front and then putting the chair all the way up as high as it can go, and then forward all the way. So we'll put it forward in a second after we take these off. Then we're gonna take the back ones off, and then we're gonna unplug the battery for SRS reasons. I don't wanna snag anything. Oh, and then the seatbelt as well. So let's just do that real quick. 1. So this one too. Cool, that one's out. This one's out. Okay, so now that the seat front is off, we're gonna push this all the way forward. It makes it easier trying to get this chair out of the car without scratching anything. All right, all the way forward, okay? So there's a seatbelt bracket, okay? It goes in there, and then it attaches, okay? There's a bracket here, and it clicks on. So all it is you just pull this piece back, and then it slides up, and then it comes off, all right? You slide it down, and then off of the thing, and then back up. So I'll show you on the other side. If that's a little confusing, I'll show you how to do it on the other side. Then last but not least, we're gonna hit these 2 back here, and here, okay, and then 1 here. All right, so now the seat is completely unbolted. There, and then in the front, and I've got this thing hanging, which I'm gonna have to remove completely because I'm putting in harnessed. So I won't really need that anymore. All right, so now that that's undone, now we have to unplug electrical to this thing. Nope, not here. Let's go unplug the battery and then I'll come back to it in a second. Okay guys, so now we're gonna tilt the seat backwards like that to give you some room underneath. Super easy underneath here. I had it propped up with my impact holding it up so I can work on this. Now the S4 is going to be a little bit different because that thing doesn't have massaging seats and all the bells and whistles, but it should look something very similar. Okay, so all you do, they're plugged in right there. You just pry them with little pick tools, what I use for these connectors, and then just lift this wiring harness off. This is all I use, okay? Just a little pick tool. So pick them off, throw it up there, okay? And then now you have to pull out the seat. Now I'm gonna give you a warning if you're doing this in an A8. This thing is dummy heavy, okay? Probably one of the heaviest seats I've ever pulled out. So just take your time. What I'm gonna do is put a fender liner right there. I recommend you putting a sheet or a blanket, something to cover that up, because you could actually hit the the seat rails up against the paint and scratch it. So I always recommend take your time, swing it out, put something there to hold it or to cover it so that way you don't scratch anything, and then we'll pull it out. All right, so I'm gonna do that step real quick and then come back. All right, here we go. I'm gonna try to yank this thing out in front of you guys. I like folding it down this direction and then pulling it out this way. That way I don't hit anything. So door all the way open. Let's see if this headliner or this headrest is gonna get in my way. Okay, so fold it in this way. Now the headrest is gonna be in your way. Okay, so now you have to flip this upwards to get it out without scratching anything. Just like that. This thing is super heavy. So there she is. Got that thing out. Now we have all this space. So let's take a look at how we're gonna mount this thing up. Here's the available space. I have already done the driver's side seat. Look at the difference of those two. So I'm gonna show you how to do this side, and then I'm just gonna install the driver's seat at the end of the video. Okay, so you get the seat bracket itself. You get these sliding rails. Not everybody gets a sliding rail. Some of them aren't, but you know, I'm 6'2". I like sitting a little back. So I opted for this. So these are gonna sit this direction. Okay. And then these clips right here is for the push bar. It sits like this, okay? In addition to that, these are for the 5-point. Now at the moment, I am not going to be installing the 5-point harness. I'm waiting for my harness bar to come in, and then I gotta fabricate it a little bit to make it fit in this car, because this is a L, it's a little bit longer. So I'm gonna show you guys how to do this part, set up the camera, but first, I wanna be able to show you the weight difference, because I don't actually know yet myself. So I'm really eager to find out how much I'm shaving weight off of. So let's do that now. So let's start off with a base, so that way we know how much I weigh, for everybody that was questioning that. All right, so I weigh 221, 311. All right, 263. So that's a 48-pound difference between the two seats. So that's 50 pounds each seat. That's 100 pounds shaving off just by doing this mod. So pretty awesome. All right, so now that everything's on the table, I'm gonna go over a quick recap of what I'm gonna be doing, and then I'll go through the procedure. The seats come with these bolts, okay? Here, 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 and here. Just remove them out of the way. I mark everything as well. So the bracket has an F, B, left, or L, R. So front, back, left, right. That way it's just easier for me. So when I got this thing upside down, I'm not trying to figure out where it's going. It's all in here, okay? So the first step, what I'm gonna do, this is the way I do it. I install these to the seat. Then I put the seat down the way it's supposed to. I then start to make sure, you know, it's lined up how I want it to be lined up. And then I'll put the bolts through the holes. And then if I need to, I will drill into the frame to make sure that the seat sits correctly, which I had to do on the other one. So I'll probably have to do it on this one as well. There's just the prefab hole marks just don't line up perfectly. So you're gonna have to, on this particular case, gonna have to cut them, but that's not always the case. I've seen somewhere it lines right up, you just bolt them in and boom, you're done, okay? So we'll go through that, and then once we get the other seat out, I'll show you how to install the seat belt, super easy, and we'll go from there, all right? Okay guys, so seat is on the bracket. I have 2 of the nuts securing it. They're just loose right now, they're not like tight. They are underneath here, and I'll zoom in on that later. You see how this rides right up against it? So I have to hit it with a hammer a little bit more on this side to clear it. On this side, can't really tell, but there is some room there. That's where the seatbelt buckle is gonna go. So there's good room over there, just not on this side. Okay, so just make the frame even. If you can see, let me see if I can get a flashlight in here so it's easier to see. There we go. You see how the hole isn't lined up correctly 100% here or on this side either. So now I have to mark it with a paint pen, and then I'm gonna drill a hole to make sure that the bolt can fit through correctly, okay? So that's next. Okay guys, so everything's in now. It's all mounted in, got the washers and nuts on all 4 corners. I also measured, because I'm a weirdo, wanted to make sure that I'm perfectly square. I'm 1 inch. I don't know if you guys can see that, but I'm 1 inch there, 1 inch there. On the back, I'm 1 1/16 between here and here, and I'm 1 1/16 between here and here. So I know that she's good to go, nice and square. I'm also from here to here on that corner. I am 1 1/4 inch here, and then I am 1 5/8 on this side, front and back. So now that I know that I'm completely square and ready to roll, this thing's ready to get put inside the car. So I'm gonna go start working on that. The seatbelt isn't on just yet, so I have to remove it off the seat, off the OEM seat, and put it on there, and I'll show you that in real quick, and then we'll put the seat in. All right guys, so last part of this, use a bolt. This is just stuff that I had laying around the shop. Okay, so put that on. So you're gonna put the seat belt this direction, okay? So remember, the belt got to go in a certain way. And this is for now. Again, this is going to be a 5-point harness, but I don't have the harness bar at the moment. And I have my son that sits in the front seat. If it wasn't for him, I probably wouldn't be doing this extra step. I would just drive around with no belt on. So I'm just gonna tighten this, and then we're good to go. All right, guys. So she's in. She actually looks really nice. So all I did was just grab the seat, put a fender cover back on here, and then threw the seat in and bolted it in. I mean, it's really nothing more than that. I'm gonna do this side real quick on the driver's side. So I gotta do what we learned already and yank out the driver's seat and then just swap them over, and then should be good to go. So what I'm gonna do now is just put this thing on record and just go through the motions. The driver's side is gonna be a little bit more challenging because of the steering wheel in the way. So what I like doing is putting the steering wheel all the way up and bringing it telescopic, bringing it in, and then the same procedure for the actual seat itself. So I'll come back when that's all said and done. All right, guys, I got the chair out. I had to stop it for a few minutes because was really starting to get on my nerves, and actually hit my side here. So I got a guy who can just sand this out, clear it, and it'll come back together. It'll be good to go. All right, so now we're gonna work on this one real quick. I'm gonna show you guys how to put this on. We're gonna take this off. It's really simple. You're gonna take this off. That is a M8 here, then a T30. Pull this off, take the wiring harness out, just pull it right out and install a new one, okay? All right, guys, last little bit of the video. I'm gonna show you guys real quick what's done and what still needs to be done. We still have to do the supercharged conversion, which is coming up in probably a week or so. Let's see, I've got my 1200 horsepower water to air intercooler. I gotta still run the hoses to the heat exchanger. I have this coupler. It's a 3.5 to 3 inch. That's sitting at the house. Actually, I got to put that together. She goes up and around, goes down through here. I had to get a custom mount. I had to get this because I'll show you in a second, super tight. But the A8 mount, which is different from the A6 and the S4, was way too big to be able to put my charge pipe and the exhaust there on the same side. I mean, it was just bulky. I'll show you guys what I mean by that in a second. So there's the custom one. All right, here's all my piping, still my charge, my exhaust, and there's the turbo. I got a turbo screen in the box down there that I have. I currently just have it to the wastegate. However, there's my my boost controller, so I just got to hook that up. There's a turbo there, right? My wastegate. So I am gonna be, whoops, let me try to get this light right. I'm running a flex pipe between here and here, and then gonna recirculate it into here. I'm doing that so that way I can get extra flames in there. I don't know if it's a great idea to be running pops with the turbo on the back, so I'm just going to eliminate it all together. Like having pops might warm up the temperature a little bit more on the turbo, and then in result just getting the grease taken out prematurely. So I'd rather just not run it that way. Just put the recirc valve inside the exhaust so I can throw some flames out of the exhaust. And then currently it's just straight piped. I was in a pinch for tuning, so I just have it done like that. What I'm going to be putting in is resonators in here. Probably will stick it right here. Let me see. There we go. Probably going to be sticking it like right here, and then just make a new mount here. I had some welding work done prior when I was in a pinch, and they messed my shit up. So I've got holes and stuff messed up over there. So I'm gonna have to think of something, but I am gonna put resonators in here. It is a little raspy still. So clean that up, make it look nice. And yeah, man, that's about it. Now I gotta get to the fueling and whatnot. So this is what we got. All right. So again, I appreciate you guys. Thanks for following me. Hope this video helps you guys. If it doesn't, then it was a good time anyway. I had a lot. If you are planning on doing something like that, 4 or 5 hours. I mean, I had to stop and go for other things. So it took me a little bit longer than that, but I think 4 hours should be adequate enough time. If you don't have to drill anything, then it should take a little less than that. So hope that helps. Thanks everybody. Follow me until next time.